Good afternoon. We're right at the top of that time, 3:30. Do you usually start State of the Business on time? All right. Well, then I will be punctual and I will do just the same. I also heard right before this meeting that State of the Business used to be at 3 o'clock. Is that register with anybody else, or was it always 3:30? Okay, that person I was talking to was wrong. It's all right. We'll keep it at 3:30 then. I thought we accidentally moved it, and I honestly don't know when meetings are. I go where Kendall tells me to go and talk when she tells me to talk. So she's great at that, and that's why I'm here on time for you all. Welcome to State of the Business for November. I'm sure there's lots of questions for today, especially since you got a rate increase later just a couple days ago. That was not a trick or treat. That was probably more on the rough side, but we'll start off with the normal customary way. I do believe it's from sales. Wonderful, right? We have a guest speaker today. Unfortunately, at the last minute, Linda got sick today and she couldn't be here. So I went into her office and said, "Hey, do you mind giving an update?" And she said, "What? Why?" But I said, "I also need a picture." And she gave me this wonderful picture to put up there for you all. And she just has a brief update. It's a little bit different than the normal updates you hear. I updated a little bit based on your feedback when I'm walking around. The information that you asked me for, I'm going to have her give you. So hopefully it resonates.
Thank you. Okay. I am Jana from marketing. We have in independent 1 bedrooms, we have 19 people on our wait list. For the 2 bedrooms, we have 49 people on our wait list. The patio homes, we have 17 people on our wait list. The alcove, we have 5. On assisted living, we have 9 people on our wait list. We are completely full in our independent living. We do have 5 homes under construction that are already pre-sold. Assisted living, again, we are full except for we do have 1 home open for an internal resident. Our skilled nursing, 59 beds, 43 are full. 1 is expecting, 3 are on deck to fill those. So they're expecting 1 person to come from the hospital, and then they have 3 patients on deck that they're working through for their Medicare. And that's it.
She did wonderful, didn't she? On deck means we're usually just getting the paperwork and some of the assessments done to make sure that they can come and they would be a good fit for us. So we expect probably 50% of those to actually come to fruition. Christy, human resources update from a personnel standpoint.
All right. Well, happy November. So giving you an update on what's happening with our team members, our new team members that are getting ready to be started. And we had 4 new team members that were hired in October. 3 of them were in the health center. So there was 1 LVN in the health center and 2 CNAs in the health center, and then 1 wellness nurse. So a lot of medical team members. So that's really, really good news. Onboarding and in process, so kind of on deck, we'll use from what Jana was saying. So these are folks that have accepted an offer letter and we're in the process of bringing them in. And for those of you that aren't aware, every new team member has to have a TB skin test, a physical exam, and LifeScan background fingerprint check. So those all have to be cleared before somebody starts. So we have hired a driver. Yay, good news. So I don't know if Sandy, I don't think she was going to talk today, but it is a commercial driver. So it would also be somebody that can drive the big bus like Victor. So very good news. And then we're also in the process of bringing 1 wait staff team member. So very good news in terms of our hiring. Then I'll move to the anniversaries for the month. We have 15 team members that are celebrating anniversaries. So we have 5 team members that have been here anywhere between 1 and 5 years. 5 team members anytime between 6 to 10 years, 1 team member 11 to 15 years, 2 team members that have been here between 16 and 20 years, and I'll list them because you probably know them. Lupe Adon, one of our housekeepers, 19 years, and Maria Otero, 20 years. And then we have even more from 21 to 25 years. Tess Robinson, which works in our health center activities, she's celebrating 22 years. And then lastly, Francisco Valdivia. You probably remember him. He was a waitstaff team member. He's a cook now, 24 years. So a lot of longevity this month. So right now with our team members, you'll probably see a lot of different meetings. We are going through our open enrollment period. So this is when we sign up for our new benefits for next year, our health benefits. So we're working on that now, and we have to enroll over 100 different team members. So a lot of busy work for human resources. So thank you for allowing us. I know we may have displaced some of you into different rooms. So we just want to say thank you for that so we can have a larger room so we can do the presentation. Any questions for me at all that I can help with? Yes. Yes. Yes, I was just trying to let him finish. So he was asking what happens if they are rejected, or what would it take to get rejected? So basically, they have to be able to get into the White House in order to work here. So we do a Department of Justice and an FBI live scan background check. So it's very thorough. So you are very safe and secure with the people that are coming in. TB skin tests, obviously, if somebody has tuberculosis, they can't come in, but that's usually not the case. So I don't know if that answered your question. So the question is, can anybody get a job here? If you want to work with us as a team member, sure. We don't have any age caps. Nope. You have to be a certain age to work, though. You have to be at least 14 or 15 because we have to get work permits. Yes. So you added a driver. We didn't lose it, right? Yeah, so the question is, we added a driver. So we replaced a driver. So Balai is no longer here. Balai left. So Balai was what we call a Class C driver, which is most of what we do, just driving our own car. So Victor has a commercial driver's license, so he can drive a larger bus vehicle. This new person will be able to do that as well. So they can drive the van and the bigger bus if needed. We didn't get a lot of detail. Yes, he left on his own. We didn't get a lot of details about what the reason was, but yes, he did voluntarily resign. Yes. Yes. Can you share the minimum wage now? Well, we have minimum. The question is about the minimum wage. So each different position has different wage band amounts. So it would just depend on what position. Are you talking about like restaurant workers and healthcare? So we're in the process, our community support centers in the process of working on that with any changes that we need to make with any wage bands based on California, if that answers your question. In starting positions, most of our positions here, I can say, are at least at that amount. It may not be what the wage band says, but most team members are not under that. Can't say everybody, but we're in that direction. Yes. Any other questions I can assist with? Okay. Thank you.
It's always good when it's all good news. Paul, a couple dining updates.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming on out to see us again. November version of the State of the Business. Lots of fun stuff. Birthdays, lots of birthdays this month. Raise your hand if you got a birthday this month. Notice my hand's up. My birthday's this month, so I too am in that family. I got a wonderful, ma'am. Valentine's Day was 9 months ago. That explains it, doesn't it? Yes, those of you that can do the quick stork math. That's yeah, that's how it fits. Yeah, so we have birthday lunch coming up on the 8th. We follow that on the 14th with the men's club event. I believe is going to be in here. Depending on numbers, we'll probably do it in here. We're bringing back the holiday bake sale. The Thanksgiving version will be on. Let me refer to my notes here so I'm accurate. Holiday bake sale is on the 17th. We'll do another one for Christmas, and that'll be on the 15th of December. Pies and cakes and treats and all kinds of stuff to come on in and partake upon. Everybody seems to really enjoy that. And yes, there will be scones. The scones are a big favorite, I guess, aren't they? Yeah. We'll also be doing for Thanksgiving the Thanksgiving to Go program for those of you that are hosting in your apartments. The turkey and all the fixins and pie and all that kind of stuff. We'll have those menus posted here probably within the next week or two. Let everybody plan for that. We did hire a new dining room manager. Many of you have met him already, Andrew McCauley. He's been on the floor very often. I'm getting him out there as much as I can to press the flesh and learn all the names. He's doing pretty well on the test so far. He's at about 50%. So we'll get him in that direction. You guys just keep wearing your name badges and he'll get better at it. But yeah, it's been an eventful run up to the holiday season, and again, thank you all for allowing us to come into your home and serve you this way. All right. Any questions I can answer for you? Yes, sir. Oh, the question is who is the stranger walking around the dining room, lurking about? She's actually a job coach for one of our employees. She's simply there to assist her through some processes. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am. Great question, Miss Doms. Miss Doms knows everything behind the curtain. When does the new sous chef start? We've actually moved in another direction from the previous candidate, so we're back on the hunt for another sous chef to work alongside Aaron and Mohammed. There were just some issues there that were unresolvable. Yeah, I know it's unfortunate, but that is the environment we live in. We change is our only constant, right? But we are aggressively looking to get that position filled as soon as possible. Yeah, thank you for that. Anyone else? Well, it is a pleasure, and thanks so much again.
Thank you, Paul. Couple notes from Bill, who is our health services administrator, and the reason why you see all of our team members in masks.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Nice to see you. As you've probably already seen, our staff members are in mask. That is a Santa Clara County mandate that started on November 1 and will go through the end of March. Yes, so we're in it for 6 months, and it's to help prevent spread of COVID and flu. Yeah, it is what it is, and we implemented it yesterday. So when staff members are to come in, they are to pick up a mask, and then when they are interacting with you, which is direct care, they should be wearing a mask. So that could be in the hallway, could be mostly in the health center, and then with our nurses. So you're not required to wear masks, just our team members so far. Yeah. Any questions there? Okay. That was quick and easy yes. The question is, are we encouraging you mean residents? You're encouraged anytime to wear a mask. That's up to you, but it's not mandated by the Santa Clara County, just our team members at this point. Okay? At this point, we haven't heard anything else. Right. Is someone else reporting on that? So COVID, we have 2 residents and 2 team members right now that have COVID. Yes. Anything else on that area? Okay. Anyone looking for me? I've changed locations of my office. I was down in the administration office. Now I'm actually upstairs across from the director of nursing, which was MDS, and now MDS is over here. Mark and Willie are also upstairs. So now we're all concentrated as a team for the health center and everyone else as well. So it's been very helpful. I've lost steps, but that's okay. Now I'm with my team and that's more helpful. So if you're looking for me, I'm upstairs in the health center, just behind the concierge desk. Yes, ma'am. Am I allowed to share that? Yeah, they're in independent. They're in independent. So the question was, where do the residents who have COVID reside? And they're in independent living. Yes. And then the last thing, we are in survey mode right now. We're expecting the California Department of Health to walk in any day. So our team has been coming in quite early for about 2.5 months now. We will continue to do that because they tend to show up about 7:30 a.m. So we've been doing that. We did have another survey with Kaiser yesterday. Kaiser is on the circuit of doing surveys of skilled nursing where they have long-term members. So they were here yesterday for about 6 hours. So it was a great walkthrough for our team. They investigated most areas that California Department of Health would investigate. Our team was excited to get the results. We scored at least a 90 in every area. That was only 2 areas where we scored a 90. The other areas we scored a 100%. So the team did a fantastic job getting ready for that and providing all the materials, and they were so excited to get the results. Any questions there? Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Yes, we can fix those 90s. Absolutely. We're on our way there. Team's excited and we're ready. We want those surveyors to come right now. We are so ready. It's like waiting for the Super Bowl. Let's just kick the ball. Okay, let's just go. Any other questions? Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate it. Vincent, man has been working like crazy since I have been here. If you haven't noticed, every 30 seconds I grab him and say, hey, let's do another project. Let's do something else. Let's get something else done. So I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. So updates, buildings and grounds. Update on the solar project. Project's going very well. They're currently on buildings Q and R. Just about all of the railings that will house the solar panels have been placed on the roofs of the M and PQR buildings. I've sent out an update on TLG Connect with some pictures so all of you can see their progress. I hope you may find that interesting. I've been meeting with them almost weekly. They anticipate possibly getting some of the panels powered up before the end of the year. So I'll keep you posted all on that. Should be exciting. I sent out another update today. We will resume our annual apartment inspections. So we will once again need access into everyone's home. We'll be replacing your air filters, checking plumbing, making sure your smoke alarms work. So be prepared for that. We're going to do 1 building a day. We're starting on November 13th. And we should hopefully have the nice smooth process to get that taken care of this year. You do not have to be home, and we'll leave notes on your door if we do enter your home. Lastly, it's that time of the year. Oh. We hope that access is clear, but we do recommend that in preparation that if you can, make sure that any items stored above sprinkler heads are cleared. There needs to be clearance there. No surge protectors plugged into surge protectors, but we'll come and make sure your home's safe. We'll make sure items are secured to the wall, and we have a long list of checklist to look at. Yes, Sharon Roth. We will, yeah, and the notice I sent out. So we're actually going to be starting at 1 p.m. a little bit later in the day. Hopefully let you guys do your thing, have lunch, and then we'll come around from 1 to 3:30 p.m. So we hope. Yes, it's on, yeah, TLG Connect. So we'll do 1 building a day, starting in the lodge and going from ED and working our way around. Like I was saying, it's that time of the year again for the holidays. So just be prepared right after Thanksgiving. Expect holiday decorations to start arriving. We have the tree being set up, We'll have lights put out throughout the exterior of the community. So it should look really nice and exciting time for the holidays. Any other questions? Yes.
Is the M building finished as far as solar is concerned?
Just the railings have been put up. So has M building been finished? Just the railings have been put up. And then next will be the solar panels and then powering everything together. So we're almost there. Yes. Too late for window washing? I would say yes, unfortunately, but if you're really wanting those windows washed, just put in a work order and our housekeeping team will get around to it. Yes. Go ahead. Yeah.
Is there any update on the backup emergency?
Currently not at this time, no. But it is something we still are thinking about and we'll possibly look into. We did begin to look into it, but some capital funding and then some other issues came up. So it's still something we're going back and forth on, but it's not completely checked off yet. All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. And I can add a little more color to what he was talking about with the elevators. It's not as easy as just immediately adding them to a generator. You have to check on the load, how much it can handle, and where we can tie it in at. All of that during the solar project was a little too much for all the engineers at the time. It is not something that we're walking away from though. So we will be looking at it. It's just right now the capacity at this site cannot handle it. So it would mean additional infrastructure. And that's what he was talking about from a capital standpoint. This was to keep me on track because of all the things that you were wanting to know. So I want to make sure I get you updates. First off, executive director update. They are in final interviews for a new executive director for you as we speak. I am sad to that news, but glad for you from a stability standpoint that you'll have a leader going forward. What I mean by final interviews is they go through panel interviews with John, Dan, and then they'll bring them out to the community. They'll usually meet with your resident council as well as your community advisory board. Those are going to be scheduled here in the next week or so. And hopefully we'll have a final candidate to present an offer to. And then we can update you on the timeline of when that individual would be joining the team and starting his first day or her first day. Questions on that? All right. Budget. I could have added a bunch of slides on the budget right now, but you actually have, per California law now, a separate meeting is required just on the budget. So that is actually on the 17th. So instead of boring you twice with a bunch of information, I'm just going to tell you about the meeting. And if you really like numbers and want to dig into the details of the 2024 budget, come join me. On the 17th, we'll be doing a full budget deep dive on the 24th. I'm sorry, on 2024's budget. There has been a posted notice to the bulletin board in the mailroom that will give you a snapshot. You also receive that same snapshot with your rate increase letters that just went out. With my signature on it, I'm sorry to be the bearer of that news. It was before my time, but I will be explaining in the budget meeting why it's at that percent and what those funds are needed for 2024. CapEx project highlights. Just because you're probably wondering, can you see that? What are some of the things in the capital budget? Is the biggest capital budget I've actually seen at a Human Good community that I've been to. 49 items, 49 projects, I think, that Vincent's going to be completing next year. After the board approved it, I went through and pulled out a couple that you might have wanted to know about. The lodge hallway carpets next year will be replaced. Resurface and stripe the main lot. Elevator upgrades, those are not the ones that we're talking about putting them on a generator. Artificial turf replacement will be next year, and that's community-wide. Add 3 additional electronic vehicle chargers. So you have one right now, a charge port. You're going to be adding 3 more stations next year. Game room remodel. We did a small refresh recently to get the paint and the lighting brighter. Next year, that'll get the carpet and full furniture reno. The little coffee station with the sink will get all renoed out, and that'll look really nice. Next year, we're going to get new chairs in the GRA. So that's on there. The walkway for the Esplanade is going to be completely replaced from a renovation, and the laundry and refuse rooms, the garbage rooms, are going to get an upgrade. So those are just small highlights of the 49 different projects that Vincent's going to be knocking out next year for you all. I'll present the entire list at the budget meeting. Questions on them? Yes, sir. What am I going to do with the bricks in the Esplanade? I probably won't even be here when you do it. I can put in a good word to keep them. I would assume you're going to keep them, right, Vincent? Okay, good. So I would assume, I don't know, I wasn't here for this part, but usually when I see this type of project, it means we're probably going to rip out all of the concrete that's uneven, cracked, or broken. We're going to replace that with new, but all of the current aesthetic will stay, meaning the bricks and the lines and things like that will stay. Is that correct, Vincent? Beautiful. Will there be automatic door openers on the refuse rooms? There will not. They did try it. There was a test run on one of the rooms, and I believe we ran into trouble somewhere. The fire marshal was the one who said no. So we are going to work on the tensioners, though. I understand that the tensioners on the doors make them very difficult to open, or as you're going out, they kind of send you out as you go. We are going to work on those. Those we can fix. The tensioners at the top over the years actually get a little bit tighter, and Vincent and his team can actually work on loosening those up a little bit so that it's easier to open and close. Yeah, but unfortunately, automatic closers were not allowed by the fire marshal. Yes.
The area outside the game room, outdoor area, it's always been talked about a place for putting chairs and tables, and maybe you can sit there and have coffee. Is any of that included in the model?
The question was, for the game room remodel, the area outside the game room, and I think you're talking about the outside, correct? Not the part in front of the dining room. Gotcha. So basically outside this door, there's a little courtyard, so to speak. I think over the weekend, they put a little dog park kind of in there. So feel free to go check that out. Is this project, was her original question, are we addressing that area in this project? It is not. It's not part of this project. That doesn't mean that it can't get done, though. Vincent has the ability to move project funds from one project to another. Say there's a certain project, maybe this, and I'm making this up right now, but let's just say the game room has $30,000 in the budget. Maybe we only need 5 of it, and then we can reuse 25 to do something else. That's how we got a lot of the little projects done that I've been doing since I've gotten here. We'll do the exact same type of thing next year. So if that's important to you, I would bring that up to the next executive director as well as Vincent, and we can look at getting that done.
Dining people come through when there's food in the GRA, and they transport it to there. It's an address. The dog park doesn't sound reasonable out there.
Her comment was that she does not like that there's a dog park outside, and that's the same area that food is transported back and forth through. From a sanitary standpoint, I understand completely. Sure. Kind of going back and forth, counterpoint was that the path is open from door to door. I wasn't around for why we decided to do what we did or how we did it. I kind of just came back from Boise and we had a dog park. So I'll find out more, and then I'll kind of update everyone on TLG Connect on the why, the what, and the how, specifically to food and beverage, if we're going to be choosing a different route based on that new use of that space. I couldn't agree more on the fact of sanitation, and I also understand that it's clear, and it does sound like there are probably residents who want a dog park. So maybe we can win all of them with some better communication. Yes. So her understanding is that they're looking at this as a temporary situation. That's what I'm going to find out the question on. Is this permanent? Is this temporary? How long is it going to be there? Who is it open to? And where is the final one? And I'll get all that communication out. And we'll do better about communication instead of things just popping up for fun. Yes. Have the dogs read the rule about the pathway, Sharon? She doesn't know. I don't know. Yes. Great question. One of the ones I'm actually going to address today. We had a bunch of office moves. I talked a little bit about it in the first newsletter that I sent out. There's a second one that's actually going to be released, I believe, this weekend. That will be an update to that. It will show where all the locations of people where they moved to. The way to think about it, though, if you're wondering, is everybody was put together that works together. So if you're looking for a skilled nursing team member, they're now up in the skilled nursing area. So they're all in their right places, so to speak, or with the teams that they work with. Operations, like HR is now with operations and finance and sales and marketing. Usually where the administration offices are, those departments are together. So it's like that, but we will release a full detail of where everybody's at. There were 12 office moves, I think, and they all happened over the course of about 10, 15 days. It was very quick. I thought I saw one other hand. Nope. All right. And then the next one was Galleria feedback. You ready for it? All right. So we did lots of wonderful feedback. I thank you so much I stood up here and I got a lot of your verbal feedback, but I asked for more and you delivered. I got wonderful feedback. Positive, negative, constructive, all of the above. It's exactly what we were looking for. If you're wondering what it was at the breakdown, I got 32 responses. That was email and written together. I had 4 personal meetings where residents wanted to meet with me personally and talk about it. And then I can't even tell you how many times I met you in the hallway, the dining room, just numerous. I just stopped counting. So know that all of that feedback was registered and was not lost. It was very important as we move through this process to ensure that all the voices are heard. Many times, and I think this got misconstrued just a little bit the last time I talked at the Galleria, I talked about the vocal minority and the silent majority. I was just mentioning that I want to hear from all the voices. I was not saying don't listen to the vocal minority, because the vocal minority could also be saying the same thing as the silent majority. We just want to hear all the voices instead of just a few that are louder than the others. It's probably a nice way to say it. So what did we hear? Areas with resounding positive feedback. I heard time and time again, we love the idea of the package room, that it will meet the needs of the community. I heard time and time again about the main entrance expansion, basically moving those 2 walls to create additional space, was wonderful. And the new reception desk location where it's more centrally located and they can monitor all the entrances to the community was all pluses. The polarizing, I could have chose any word here. I chose polarizing for a reason. Fireplace. There is a good amount of people. I'll tell you on the next slide. Sorry. So fireplace and then additional wall locations. These are the 2 areas that came up consistently. Now, there was a lot of other feedback. I'll talk about that in a second. We have incorporated a lot of that feedback already into the design that I didn't even put up here because it just made sense immediately. One of them, the office spaces. If you remember on the 2nd floor, there was 3 office locations. And you all asked me, what are they for? I'm like, I don't know. So I walked around, I asked people. We couldn't find anybody that was supposed to take over those offices. So we took them out of the plan. So now the light just comes through and we are doing 1 still upstairs, and it'll be more of a conference room, which is some feedback we got was we have the big conference room upstairs. We have the one Redwood down at the end of the lodge, but for people who are meeting for skilled nursing, and maybe it's just a small family meeting, we don't have a space for that. So one of those offices will be converted just into that, and the other 2 will be removed back into resident space, and the natural light will come through instead of being darkened by the offices. But feedback like that, I didn't really put up here because we just incorporated it immediately into the design. Same thing with the skylights. That was a big thing. Let's fix those. Definitely going to do that. Absolutely. Questions on any of that? All right, fireplace, the first polarizing topic. So there was a good amount, probably, and this is going to sound weird, 50% of people came to me and said, we need open space, no fireplace. At least 15, maybe 16 of the comments written, some of them just said no fireplace. That was it. No other feedback, just no fireplace. There's a strong feeling on this fireplace thing. Then the other 50%, and these are quotes, these are actual written comments from residents. If you wrote this, I'm not gonna tell you who it was, but you'll probably know your writing up here. The fireplace would make the area cozy and welcoming and a positive addition. So I had people, about 50% of the residents say, no fireplace. We want the space the way it is. And I have 50% right now that say, it sounds like a really cool idea. So when I dug deeper and I would ask people, and I probably did this to many of you, why don't you want the fireplace? What is behind that? What's the driving factor? These were usually the top 3 driving factors that it came down to. First one, egress, either fire or just exiting the space, whether it be how long it takes us to exit the space, funneling through 2 spaces, or just running into a wall. Event overflow, where let's say that this was packed, and you think this would be packed, right? No, it's not. You're all on Zoom. Anyways, if this was packed, we would open these doors and have additional seating. That came up. And then a couple people said, we don't have ski or snow around here. I think what they were trying to imply is a fireplace in Los Gatos is just out of place for being in the Los Gatos area. Hopefully I captured that correctly for whoever said the skiing one. They might be in this room in the second row. Fireplace proponents, people that were for it. They enjoyed the defined purpose of the space, where they currently consider the space to not have a defined purpose, but more of a multi-use space. They liked the idea that it would have a defined use. Second one was first impression. What I heard many times over was when you walk in the front door, you immediately see the back door, so to speak, or the entrance to the conference room. That's what you see when you walk in the main door. And they like the idea of having a focal point, a focal wall, or a room that has more of a welcoming first impression. So that's the feedback that we got. Does that feel like it adequately represents either side that you're on? All right. I noticed that you didn't have a full rendering of what it would look like. So, and that was one of the biggest things that we had comments on is I can't picture it. All I see is that it's going to be a big, disgusting wall. I get it. I understand that. I presented to you the feedback, or I'm sorry, the fireplace that was originally selected in the plans. I posted that to Cubico or TLG Connect if you want to see it. I actually, when I was home in Boise, I tried to find this actual spec and I found one. So I found this exact fireplace that you're looking at doing here. It was in what's called Mountain Home, Idaho. It was like in 47 minutes from my house or something like that. So I actually drove out there. It was in a restaurant and I ate right next to this thing. So I could get the feel for what it actually looked like and felt like. If you want to know about my experience, just ask me after. I'm not going to say it in front of everyone. Okay, I will. It was nice, to be honest. There was no heat out of it. It looked real, which was very weird. The logs and the way they did it, these are pretty expensive. They're about $4 or $5 grand. It looked pretty real. Now, when you sit right next to it, it's fake. You can see the LEDs moving. But if you back up about 6 feet or so, looks very real. Anyways, that was my impression. There's no heat to it. So really all you're doing if you decide to go fireplace is buying an ambiance, a focal point and a defined space. So what does this mean for you? What are the next steps? Oops, yeah, the end after that. Can you hit the last light up? Or these lights, just turn them on. Thank you. There we go. I know, all those who are asleep, wake up. Outside the doors, post this, Kendall did a phenomenal job while I was gone. We called it craft time. She put together an entire display, breaking it up by floors so that you can make more sense of what we have in the current plans, okay? That's going to be on the right outside this door. While I've been talking right now, they've been setting it up, just so you're aware. You have full samples of all of the additives. Look at that, they're even opening the doors as we speak. So on there, you're going to have carpet samples. You could take those carpet samples, put them down on the ground, walk on them if you want to. You'll see where they go. She's divided it into 3 sections. The first one is the bottom floor. So all of the light fixtures, the paint, the carpet, the tile, everything that'll be on the first floor is in one section. The second section is the second floor. And then the third section, I believe, is the fireplace. There are 3 different renderings. And the one thing I want to kind of call your attention to, sorry, I know I just turned off the light. Yeah, you might as well, or turned on the light. This side and this side right now, and I should be clear, we have not decided whether fireplace or no fireplace. How we're going to make that decision, when we're going to make the decision, I don't know, but I'm working on it. This side and this side are actually an Acoustomat type finish, which dampens sound. And there's 3 options for us to choose from. So I wanted you to see all that and have this additional information under your belt to then make more feedback. We're going to open up the feedback again till Thanksgiving. So from now till Thanksgiving, you're going to have an option to look at all of the fixtures, feel them, touch them, and provide feedback so we have a steady course to go so we can start this project on time at the beginning of next year. Does that sound good? We are going to go for submittals, which means we have to get kind of all of this in a semi-complete state. You can always change, like if you decide, oh, I don't like this white, I'd like it to be Dove. I don't know the difference between white and Dove, but if you wanted it to, we can make that change on the fly next year. But what we do have to decide is, are we doing this? Do we like these light fixtures? Do we like the different things? Like right now, the way it is, there's no light fixtures in the space. In the proposal, there is actually light fixtures that drop down and come into the space to give it that warmth and feel. So there's 3 different renderings like this. What you're going to pay attention to and what I love feedback on is, of those 3, which ones do you like for the sides? If you decide to go this route, we do have to make that selection. Okay, you can throw the lights back up. I think the question was, how are we going to set up Christmas? Holiday Village. And it's huge. And how are we going to set that up? Good question. I don't know. Let's experiment this year and find out how. I don't know who actually does the display. Perfect. It sounds like a resident's going to do it. I'll find out who that resident is and I'll work with them. We'll figure out how we can do that. Yes. What about the lattice on the side panels? So in the Galleria right now, one of the interesting conversations I had about the closing off of the walls was individuals do feel that it closes the space. Although I will mention, not that I'm pro or against, you have couches that are in the space where you're going to put up the lattice work now, so you can't really go through it, even as it currently stands, just so we're all on the same page. In those areas, there's 3 different lattice structures that can be chosen. One is already on the board, so you can check it out. And then on the table will be the other 2. Would love your feedback on that as well. So we have to choose one of the 3 as well. And if in the end, you don't provide any feedback, do you know how we make the decision? Do you all know? Cost, throw it at the mirror, throw it at the wall. We go with the designer. Usually the designer has the expertise in the area. So if we can't make a decision as a community, I'm not talking about the fireplace. I'm literally just talking about paint and stuff like that. If I don't get any comments back from you on that stuff, we just move forward with what the designer just designed, because that's what they do. So that's how we would move forward. The question is there going to be reading light? There is. That's part of the FF&E package. Fixtures, furnishings, and equipment. FF&E, you'll hear that a lot as you go through the project. There is. Yeah. Yes. The question was, what we just saw on the screen, the rendering, where does it kind of exist? When you go to where the table is right now, that's where it would be. So it would go from there up. So it does not affect these doors here, but it does affect 13.4 feet in front of these doors. All of this stays. Everything stays. Yep. So that's where we're at. I would love your feedback. Play, touch, feel, look through all of the design on the table, give feedback, and then we can get that information to the designer. Once we have that final selections and we make that determination, as I said, it's polarizing. And I will tell you one thing, just so you know, those who want the fireplace are very secretive and quiet about it. They are. They'll come to me and say, don't tell anybody else, but I really like the fireplace idea. But if you call me out, I'm not going to say I said it. The only reason I tell you that is there may be some thought processes out there that the people who don't want the fireplace are not open to hearing the opinions of those who may want the fireplace. So however you want to deal with that as a community, I just present the information. You all can swallow how you feel. Yes? The samples will actually stay out there through the entire period. Yep, so we're going to leave them out there. If they get damaged, Kendall will monitor it. I have backups of those if it falls or things like that, and she can make some additionals. If you want bigger versions or other samples, just let me know. I will call our designer and get the new samples out here immediately for you. If you're super interested in it, I'm happy to do it. Yes, is the designer ever going to come? Do we get to talk to them? Absolutely. I run interference at the beginning. Big reason being, if I put a designer up here and she got all of your individual feedback, she would come to my office later and say, well, what do you want me to do? I don't know what you want me to do. So it's a lot easier for me to take all the information, coalesce it, figure out through conversations with you, what is the driving factors? How do we address them? How do we create something in the future that maybe you didn't even know you wanted, but now you can't live without because it's so good. That's our goal. That's where we want to get to. So once we kind of have that firm vision, then I'm going to invite her out here and she's going to give a full presentation on why she chose the color she did, what it creates, all of that. And you'll have a chance to interact with her as well. She's also very expensive, so I'm also conscious of that. So I know we've been talking about Galleria. Open forum as well, obviously. If you have questions, anything, I'm happy to answer any questions. It doesn't have to be about Galleria. Yes. You were just wondering if you'd hear from Sandy today. Sandy, do you have any updates? She does not, but she does say hi. She's right there. And if you can't tell under the mask, she is smiling. My schedule as of right now, I'm actually here and I'm actually going to be here all through the weekend this weekend. So you'll see me all weekend. I'm here all the way through next Tuesday. I fly out next Tuesday because I have actually 2 meetings in Boise that I can't miss. Some of the senior people from Human Good are coming out to Boise. So I have to go there for those. Then I'm back here the 14th all the way through Thanksgiving. So I'm here and I usually do my schedule 1 week at a time. So I plan 3 weeks. And then once I get into that next week, I plan the next one. That way I don't buy flights if something else and if you have a new ED coming in or anything like that. So right now I know all the way through, I'm here through Thanksgiving. Yes. Will I be here to interact with the new ED? Absolutely. I don't know how much time I'll get. That is Debbie. You've met Debbie, the Vice President of Operations. Okay, I understand. That is her role. Understood. That is her role. So as much as I'm on loan from another vice president, I don't actually work really for Debbie. I work for another one. Her name's Jessica Lopez. So I'm on loan to you from her, but I'll be here as much as you need. Absolutely. Happy to do it. And I will do a full download with that person. So even if I'm not here during their onboarding or training or anything like that, we will definitely have at least 2 days of overlap where I can give them all the notes of things that we've been doing, strategic vision of where we were going, so can pick up the ball and go. Can you call me to come back? Absolutely. Absolutely. You're probably going to call me when you want me to buy drinks at happy hour. And I will do that too. So absolutely. I always visit the communities where I did a small stint or help them through a transition. I always go back and visit. So this will not be the last time you see me. I promise that. Other questions? Anything else you want to go over? All right. Well, it's great seeing you all. And if you're interested in numbers and budgets, the 17th is when we're going to go over all that. Good seeing you.